Everybody's just so focused on business and fitness and pushing things forward that they fail to realize, there's more to that than life and there's more to work on. And that being jacked and having all the money in the world is not everything. You realize that those are only two sectors of your life and there's so much more. And those are great, and I teach fitness and I advocate for that because it does lead to more in life and does open up avenues and make you want more and discover more, but it's not everything. Being at 13% body fat, dropping to 10% body fat is not that significant in the real world. If that's your goal, if that's what you're pushing for, if that's what you do, go for it, but don't make it everything about you. You know, the day you realize you actually need to work on your social skills and talking to other people and talking to women normally, treating them just like another person. They're not special. They're just another human being, treating everybody the same, making small talk in elevators, making small talk at the grocery store. When you realize that those skills are also very important and they're not just going to come to you, that's when you start to make real big moves in life. That's when you start to come into the person that you're here to be. I was caught in that trap for the longest of just focusing purely on fitness and finances and thinking that that was going to complete my life. And don't get me wrong, those are very important, and you do at some point in your life need to focus most of your attention in those areas. But it's not everything. There's so many more different areas in life that you need to work on, especially if you want to get into a relationship. If you want a healthy, solid relationship, you're going to need to grow yourself. You're going to need to realize, okay, how do I effectively communicate with a partner? How do I deal with struggles with my girlfriend or my wife? And those are other skill sets that you're going to need to develop and work on yourself on. And those have nothing to do with money. Look at how many super rich and people you think have it all have failed marriages or have failed relationships or can't hold themselves in a conversation. They still haven't worked on themselves. That the outside is just one thing, but it's the internal. You got to look inside and really break that down. And if you have any traumas from before, get those sorted, get those solved, understand why you are the way you are and be okay with it most of all. Because even if you have all the money in the world, if you look the best, if you have the looks, if you have the height, if you're not okay with yourself inside, then that's not the best possible life you could be living. You're not truly okay with yourself. These things are just like coping mechanisms, and I know people at the top of my head that have it all, which seems like on the outside. But when you dive deeper, they're still broken. They still have problems, and I'm not saying that, haha, look at you. I'm just saying that those outside things don't solve everything. They're a huge help. They enhance your life. If you use them the right way, they'll make your life so much more better. But you got to have that basis and that foundation sorted first of all, of getting yourself sorted. Looking at deficiencies in your skill sets, looking at what you need, what you lack in the most that you would want to bring up. I was unsocial. I was described as a robot before for the longest time, and I took time into developing the social skills, into developing those speaking skills to the point where I can speak to anybody I'd like to. Going down in an elevator, talking to the person next to me, or at the grocery store, just saying how the other person's doing behind the till. Oh, how much longer do you have here? Oh, that's a big shift. Hey, well, you're halfway through it. Have a good one. Talking to that girl you make eye contact with, and things just click like that, and you end up dating that girl for a couple of months off a random encounter. Just these skill sets that I feel don't get the attention and importance they need. Because just knowing how to talk to people is such a huge thing, especially in this day and age where everybody's glued to a phone. Everybody's scared of the world. Everybody's looking for the next entertainment rather than looking from within and seeing who they truly are. And this is kind of bouncing all over the place. But the basis just being that there's more to life than finance and fitness. Just there's more to life than just the way you look and how much money you make. So many other areas in life that you actually have to work in, that actually take effort, that actually feel scary, because in all honesty, it's kind of easy just to go to the gym every day. You can kind of go in there, talk to no one, put your headphones on, grow in the gym, get results. Same way you can do with money. You can just be antisocial. You can lock yourself away and make money, or however way you choose to do it. And those don't teach you the real world skills of, actually having a conversation or meeting eye to eye with a person and conducting yourself properly, or being able to hold yourself in a room despite not being at everybody's level, just because you're okay with yourself and you don't need to seem bigger than you are to compensate for anything, because you know who you are and you know your flaws. There's nothing that they can say that's gonna hit you, because you're okay with yourself. I feel that's worth more than everything. And don't like I said, I keep reiterating this. Those other things are important. I value them in my life. I'm pushing forward in those areas in my life. But the main thing is just having that solid foundation to build off of. It just makes things so much more enjoyable, especially along the way and along the journey. Because I don't want to wait 5 years before I could start learning these things. I intend to live my life year by year. In my 20s a different way, my 30s a different way. And within all those years, have experiencing different things along the way, as life should be. Just different years experiencing different new things, growing more. And I don't want it to be just locked inside a cage, focused on two areas, kind of rotting my life away. And yeah, it will pay off, eventually, but I don't want to live like that. I want to enjoy every single year of my life, in however way that is. So this just shows you that, yes, finance and fitness are important, but there's other things you also got to sort out in your life. The business or career you want to go into requires you to gain a different skill set. It requires you to go away for a program to train under someone, and that requires you to speak better, or that requires you to be more outgoing, or that requires more from you, or that if that requires you to lose your ego, or fix childhood trauma that probably was never solved, then you will be forced to do that. And it's part of life, and it's part of growing as a person, and it's ultimately the things you can't run away from, because they'll always be inside of you. No amount of money can buy it out of you. No amount of looks can get it out of you. Only you can get it out of you. And it's hard and it's tough, and you got to take step by steps, and you got to lose your ego, and you got to accept that maybe you were wrong, or maybe you did have those problems that you threw aside that you thought you could kind of run away with, but now you got to revisit them and see it for what they are, and then get through that and realize that they made you to who you are today, and they're not anything bad. And just realizing that, letting them go, and then continue on with life, and then going for that business or career you want to on a clean slate, clean mind, knowing who you are, enjoying the process along the way. It's much more fulfilling the way I see it, and there's more to life than just finance and fitness.